You know, instead of waging wars all across the world, instead of a $1.5 trillion war budget, instead of war on Iran, war on Gaza, war on Lebanon, war on Syria, war on Yemen, war on Russia, so on and so forth, they say, how about another bridge? How about another program to help rural farmers? How about another infrastructure project to serve this community of, 1,000 or 2,000 rural farm workers in a region that was previously disconnected from the entire country? And that's why China is succeeding. It's really simple, actually.
这期视频真正让人后背发凉的，不是中国在贵州山谷里建了一座世界级大桥，而是一个外国博主站在桥上，突然把美国骂醒了。他原本只是来参观一座桥，结果越看越沉默。3年半。2.8亿美元，中国把一条3-4小时的山路直接压缩成3-4分钟，这哪是修桥，这是把被大山隔开的农民、村庄、贸易、货物、旅游硬生生接近了现代化。最扎心的对比来了，他说美国的桥塌了，重建还没完成设计，预算却高到离谱，而中国已经把世界级工程变成了普通人的日常通道。所以他站在贵州大桥上直接破防。为什么美国不能做这种事？答案更刺耳。在他眼里，美国的钱投向战争、资本、华尔街，中国的钱却投向桥梁、农村、公共工程和老百姓的生活。这才是最震撼的地方。中国不是为了炫耀修一座桥，而是为了几千个山区农民也愿意建一个西方可能拖10年的超级工程。他看到的不是一座桥，而是一套完全不同的国家逻辑，一个忙着对外打仗，一个忙着把路修到山里。所以他才会说中国像是活在未来，因为中国把很多西方国家只会写在计划里的东西直接建到了现实里。接下来让我们跟随外国博主的镜头，看看这座贵州大桥为什么会让他一边惊呼中国太强，一边开始怀疑自己国家到底出了什么问题。
We are here at the tallest bridge in the world. It is the Huajiang Gorge Bridge in Guizhou, China. Absolutely stunning. 2 times larger than the tallest bridge in America. 2 times taller than the Eiffel Tower. 1.4 times the size of the Empire State Building. And all of this was built in 3.5 years with a price tag of $280 million. It turned what was a 3 to 4 hour trip into a 3 to 4 minute drive across this bridge. It made it extremely easy for farmers, for rural workers, for migrant workers, for transportation, trade, cargo, livestock transportation, tourists to travel here across this region in Guizhou. We saw it last night. There was a light show that took place. It takes place every night at around 7:30. I can show you a video of it now. It was spectacular. There was like hundreds of people out here watching it. There's a hotel on the other side of the bridge, and we actually had the privilege to stay there. It's a magnificent 5-star hotel. We are here at the Huajiang Canyon Bridge Hotel. We woke up to this. I mean, I can show you the view from where we woke up this morning. If you want to stay there, I highly suggest you do, but you're gonna have to wait a little bit. It's actually not open to the public yet, but we had the honor to stay there. It was super cool. And it really makes you wonder. It's like, why can't we do stuff like this in America? It's because we have a government that does not actually serve its people, and we have an economic system that prioritizes profit above all else. I mean, why on earth would a private company invest in something like this? They wouldn't be able to. There'd be no way in the short term for them to turn a profit. And in the long term, the profit is seen by way of the fuel prices that are saved, by the increased trade. And that's only beneficial to a state that has, again, a lot of government ownership, state ownership, that provides for its people through a myriad of government programs and amazing public works aid and programs and structures that we've covered here on this trip in part. This is why China has been able to lift 890 million people out of poverty over the last 40 years. In Guizhou, this province alone, they lifted 9.2 million people out of poverty over the span of 8 years. And they did it with projects like this, the other bridges in the region, and some of the other topics that we covered in our videos on this trip. All right, everybody, we are currently on top of and walking across the Huajiang Grand Canyon Bridge, and we are very high up. We are very high up. We're gonna be seeing a lot more. This is an incredible feat of human engineering. Nothing like it on the face of the earth. I'm trying not to look down because I don't want to see down below me. I'm not afraid of heights, but this is just kind of crazy. Chris, you are here, the tallest bridge in the world. We are here in Guizhou, China. This is the Huajiang Gorge Bridge. The tallest bridge in America is the Royal Gorge Bridge in Colorado. I think they wanted to one-up them on the name as well.
They certainly did one-up them. This is an architectural engineering masterpiece, of course. And I feel, look at this. I mean, here I am. I'm on crutches here, and I feel like I'm airborne again. Here we are. This is amazing. This is unbelievable. And China did this in 3 years. We're still trying to fix the bridge that collapsed on the East Coast. 3 years, and they were able to build the tallest and one of the most structurally sound bridges in the world. Unbelievable.
Not only is this the tallest bridge in the world, it is also the longest suspension bridge in a mountainous region. And that's part of the difficulty of building this. I'm trying to block the mic as we film because it is so windy. There are other tall bridges in the world, sure, yes, but the terrain here, mountainous terrain, I mean, the wind, there's a giant river below, there's a whole lot of things that could go wrong in building a structure like this, but there was not a single injury, not a single death in the construction of this bridge. What do you think about this, Nelly? Tallest bridge in the world.
That is absolutely amazing. I love it. It's so cool. That's it.
We are here with Secretary Xu, our comrade. She's the secretary of the Huajiang County Party Committee. We're also enjoying some local Huajiang noodles, is that?
Yes, Huajiang rice noodles.
Okay.
Yes.
And they're spicy.
It's spicy? No, not spicy. Maybe you can have a
We'll see.
try.
All right, so this is the local cuisine. Huajiang spicy noodle. Very good. Spicy. It is spicy.
Spicy?
Yes. Yes. Very good. We love Guizhou. We love this bridge. We love China. Everyone come check it out. This is such a crazy view. This bridge 9 times taller than the Golden State Bridge in San Francisco. It's 8 times taller than the Statue of Liberty. And across the entire bridge, it's about 10,000, a little bit less than 10,000 feet. Between the two main supports of this bridge, it's about 4,700 feet across. So that's the main span of the bridge. A little over 2,000 feet from the bottom of the river down there. So it's absolutely massive. You would not want to fall off the bungee cord. You would not want to, they have like a wooden bridge you can walk across. I'm like, I'm definitely not doing that. I do the bungee jump before I did the wooden bridge. And pretty much everyone, all the expert engineers, they agree that in any other country, this would take like 5 to 10 years to build. In America, maybe 50 years, maybe just it's never going to get ever built at all. Because starting in the early 2000s, we started this idea of high-speed rail, and we spent over $100 billion on it, and there's like not a single mile of high-speed rail that's been built. So maybe just like this stuff never comes to the United States, I don't know. But here, again, 3.5 years. 3.5 years it took them to build this. The Francis Scott Key Bridge in Baltimore, Maryland, which partially collapsed 2 years ago this month. It hasn't even been reconstructed yet. 70% of the design work is only done. They haven't even completed the designs yet. They're saying that best case scenario, it's going to be done by 2030, and it's going to have a $5 billion price tag. This bridge costed $280 million. How does any of this make sense? China is the future. China is living in the future. Communism works. China is proof of that. I don't know what else to say. Americans need to realize, and people in the West need to realize that the biggest lie that the government has ever sold us is that communism is evil and doesn't work. If that's true, what is China? You know? And if you don't want to call it communist, be ignorant, but let's just adopt the same thing in America. How about that? You don't have to call it communism if you want to be like a boomer or something, but let's adopt the same principle in America because clearly it works. It's spectacular. You know, instead of waging wars all across the world, instead of a $1.5 trillion war budget, instead of war on Iran, war on Gaza, war on Lebanon, war on Syria, war on Yemen, war on Russia, so on and so forth, they say, how about another bridge? How about another program to help rural farmers? How about another infrastructure project to serve this community of, 1,000 or 2,000 rural farm workers in a region that was previously disconnected from the entire country. And that's why China is succeeding. It's really simple, actually. People will make it seem as though leading a country, Trump has so many difficult questions to answer and so many difficult problems to solve. And it's actually like, no, he's actually just creating a bunch of problems. He's doing whatever he can. And the same is true about Biden. If it was Kamala, well, instead of just war in Iran, we'd probably also be bombing Moscow as well. So this is a country that prioritizes its people, and it is proof that communism works. And if you say, well, it's not communism, I encourage you to come here and check it out yourself because it's all communists that built this stuff. It's communists that dreamed up the 5-year plans that made this all possible. It's communists that built the water canals in the Tunji village in the Guizhou region in Sunyi County that we saw yesterday. They built that by hand over the course of 36 years with no heavy machinery. They're the ones who did this. We met with all of the party committee members and chairwomen and chairmen who represent these regions, and it's through their drive for prosperity, for growth, and for developing this country into something beautiful where all people can live a good life that stuff like this becomes possible. In America, we have, a capitalist class, we have an Epstein regime that prioritizes Wall Street, shareholder revenue, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, Lockheed Martin, all these companies. That's what their priorities are. Here it is much, much different. When we first came out to China, I asked the question, how does the Long March and the spirit of the Long March serve the vision and serve the common drive of the people of China today? And I have to say that basically each and every place that we stopped on this trip, each and every street that we turned down, I found my answer. It's a drive that has led people to achieve the unthinkable, the impossible. And people are taught the history of the Long March from a very young age. It is embraced in all the schooling. Unlike in America, how our greatest moments of American history are tossed aside and we're told to forget them, or we're told to hate America and our history. In China, there's a strong patriotic bond with the revolutionary principles that were instilled through the discipline of the Communist Party and embraced in the unthinkable Long March. We see that yesterday when we went to the water canals in the Sunyi Greater City region that were built over the span of 36 years, etched by hand in the cadre of the Communist Party of China. We see that with the farmers who are able to establish new trade routes into cities to connect their farms, their lands that they are very proud of, their agricultural goods, with the people in Guiyang, capital city of the Guizhou province. And of course, we see it here today at the Huajiang Gorge Bridge, which is the tallest bridge in the world. But it should not be forgotten, 9 of the top 10 largest bridges in the world are here in China. 5 of the top 10 tallest bridges in the world are here in the Guizhou province. And this is all being done to serve the needs of the farmers, the agricultural workers, the migrant workers, and the citizens who live here. It's unthinkable that a government would ever do anything for 3,000, 5,000 villagers or rural farm workers. But here in China, they do the unthinkable for populations as small as that and to serve their needs. And it's because of the simple principles that were fought for in the Long March. To fight for prosperity, to fight for a government that represents and serves the needs of the people, and overcoming all obstacles, all odds in the process to achieve that goal. When we sat down with the veterans of the People's Liberation Army in Sunyi City, where the Zunyi Conference took place, in which Mao Zedong established his military and political prowess in the midst of the Long March. I asked this veteran, I asked the cadre who've been a part of this party for 60 years, what is it that made the Long March possible? What is it that makes China possible? And he said, we remember what it was like before. We remember the dark horrors, the darkest times, harassment from the landlords, the torture that was imposed upon us from, the upper echelons of this feudal society. We remember that, and we say never again, we'll never return to that. We're fighting for something better. And that's what they're fighting for today. That is the spirit of the Long March. That is the spirit embraced by Mao Zedong. That is the spirit embraced by Deng Xiaoping. That is the spirit embraced by Xi Jinping. And that is the spirit that will be embraced by all Chinese leadership in the future, as it is accountable to the people, something that is unique to this country, socialism with Chinese characteristics. And that's why it is so successful. So I gotta say, I'm absolutely inspired after traveling here. I am left learning so much and also having many more questions, which means I need to come back and learn more. And I encourage you all to come out here and do the same. Obviously, our great friends at China Not Just Travel, they were the ones who brought me out here. And I encourage you all to check them out online because they do terrific trips. You're not just gonna get some BS culture stuff, some basic tourism. You're going to get a profound understanding of China that only leaves you wanting more. Thank you so much, China Not Just Travel. Thank you, China, for the warm and hospitable time that you showed us. And we'll be back again very soon. I'd like to thank my good friends at China Not Just Travel for inviting me out on this amazing visit to Guizhou, China. And if you would like to visit Guizhou or any other place in China for that matter, click the link at the top of the description, ChinaNotJustTravel.com. They are the best in the business. I've known them for years. I have, traveled the world with the crew who leads China Not Just Travel. And now I'm so thankful that I was able to visit China with them one more time. But this time we went out of Shanghai, obviously all across Guizhou. They offer a myriad of amazing trips. They have an iconic China trip, a wellness trip, Red China, Kung Fu China. They have a China summer school, and they even have business opportunities. You can go on an AI trip in China. They literally know everyone in China, and they are there to help you. So you can go to ChinaNotJustTravel.com, inquire on their website, click the Inquire Now button if you have any questions, you have ideas as to what you might want to see in China. They're going to give you the 101, answer anything you might have questions about, and walk you through the fundamentals of traveling in China. And while you're there, they're going to be with you and give you an experience that you will never forget. I recommend everyone travel to China at least once in their life. But the truth is, if you travel once to China, you're going to want to go back many more times. So ChinaNotJustTravel.com. Thank you so much for having me. And I recommend that you all take a visit to China too. And there's no one else to do it with but China Not Just Travel. I want to say a special thank you to my good friends at Discover Guizhou. They organized this trip. They were there with us along the way, and I had a terrific time. I know I'll be back again very soon. I'm sure many of my friends will be traveling along next time as well.
111在自习的一个偏地方，就是他把一个问题摆到了所有人面前：为什么同样是国家资源，有的地方变成战争预算，有的地方却变成桥梁、公路、农民的出路？外国博主不是被中国高度震惊，而是被中国效率和中国选择震惊。一座桥让他看到了中国如何把偏远地区接近发展，也让他看到了美国基础设施和公共投入的巨大反差。如果一个外国人亲眼站在贵州大桥上，都开始反问为什么我们国家做不到，那西方过去对中国的那些叙事还能骗多久？欢迎点赞订阅，并在评论区说说，这到底只是一座桥，还是中西方发展逻辑差距最直观的一次暴露？